Hey there, Tubanites, it's your friendly neighborhood gun lover here with another video for you. I have two new guns. I don't think I've told or hinted at either one. If you read through some of the comments of my older videos, you probably have seen me discuss or even hint towards, but anyways. This video, as you can tell by the title, is about my Remington 1911. I got this in October. The wife finally gave me the green light to spend my super secret gun fund to get this, but the timing was horrible because it's October, so it's close enough to Christmas that you can't really spend a lot of extra money. Does that make sense? So anyway, so I got it and I was able to get a couple boxes of ammo and a couple extra mags before the wife cut me off and said, hey, it's getting too close to Christmas time, you need to knock it off, which makes sense. So on top of all this, we moved. We were in an apartment. I don't know if you can tell the difference from my usual white wall and this white wall. You probably can't. Anyways, we moved. We were in an apartment for 5 years after moving from Pennsylvania to Texas, and we finally got a house. So that took up a little time as well. So now that I'm all out of excuses, let's get to the point. So I finally got this to the range today. I shot 350 rounds through it. And we had some bobbles. I had a total of 6 malfunctions. I'm having trouble figuring out what's causing them. So I shot mostly Blazer brass, but the last 100 rounds was Monarch brass. While shooting the Blazer brass, I had call it 3 of those 6 malfunctions. So 250 rounds of Blazer brass for 3 malfunctions, and then 100 rounds of Monarch brass for the other 3. I don't know if the gun was getting worn because I had one bobble with one of the Chip McCormick's pretty early on. Maybe the, what is that? 6th magazine in, 7th magazine. I got all the stuff written down right here to help me cheat. It just had a problem with the last round, which a 10 round 1911 magazine, I don't know, I haven't researched it, but I'm assuming that's kind of the norm, kind of like an M1 Garand, that last round malfunction. I don't know if that's a normal thing or not. I kind of assumed it was. I also had the same thing happen with one of the Remington 7-rounders as well. Also with the Remington 7-rounders. So I had one fail to go into feed when I first put the magazine in. And again, I had a last round failure. And then I had 2 5th round failures. So in other words, it failed to feed the last 2 rounds, or it stopped. After I shot the 5th round, it jammed up. So I thought that was kind of weird. 5th round was odd. And of all things, the cheapest damn mag that I have, a Pro Mag 10-rounder, performed flawlessly. I had 0 problems with this thing. Now, if you compare it to the Chip McCormick 10-rounders, you know, it sticks out a little farther, looks a little goofy. But it worked, and I want to say it was cheaper as well. I think this was 15 or 20 bucks, and these were 21, 22, which is really good for Chip McCormick. And of course the Remingtons came with the gun. Couple things, I had seen, there was this one girl, Phalia Photography or something like that. She had a SIG Spartan, which is that bronze colored 1911. It's a gorgeous 1911, I want it so bad. But anyways, I saw her, she had a video, I don't know if she does videos anymore, I haven't seen one in a while, but she had a video where you could see the discoloration in the front part of her gun on the bronze. It showed up really well on the bronze. So, and I started shooting, you can't see it as well now, and my lighting is horrible in here, but I started getting the same kind of discoloration and all the buildup of gunpowder and gunpowder residue on the sight and stuff like that. Muzzle's all dirty. I thought it was awesome. First time ever shooting a 1911. I'm not going to get into the 1911 Glock conversation. I think they both have their place. I will say that this thing is a joy to shoot. I really had a lot of fun shooting it. The saying is that single action trigger is hard to beat. I have to agree. The reset is very strong, and you know right where you need to be to squeeze off the next round. Recoil, I mean, this thing weighs what, 2 pounds, something like that, 36 ounces, 34 ounces. I forget what 1911 weighs, but they're heavy. So although it's a bigger round, it doesn't recoil so bad. It's probably comparable to a Glock 19, maybe a little less. I don't know. Anyway, something else to keep in mind for you new 1911 shooters, and I knew this going into it because, like the rest of us, I watch a ton of Hickok 45 videos, and he has a conversation about hammer bite. And while I fondled this thing a ton when I first got it, and I kept working the action stuff, like I could never get it to pinch, you know, the web of my hand there. And man, I got halfway through shooting, and I looked down at my hand and I noticed it was bleeding. Right where, I mean, you can see it, there's a spot right there. It looked a lot cooler at the range. I've washed my hands since then, but well, also something else that I thought was cool, and I haven't cleaned it yet, so you get to see this, and again with the bad light, I don't know if it'll show up, but I actually have my blood on the gun. Focus. There you go, right there, and right there on the hammer. So I've talked about it briefly in other videos. I was in the Navy. Right out of high school, I was in the Navy for 6 years, and that is where I met my wife, who was also in the Navy. She was a CWIS tech. I was a Mark 86 tech, which is the 5-inch guns. Anyways, CWIS is Close-In Weapon System, or phalanx. If you don't know what that is, you need to pause this video, get on YouTube, search, and look up CWIS Shoot. It's a 20mm Gatling gun capable of shooting 4,500 rounds a minute, something like that. It's ridiculous. Anyways, she was a CWIS tech, so they would work on their gun and the radar that went along with it. So there was a lot of mechanical work involved in it. So they had this superstition. The superstition was if you bled on the CWIS mount before you had a pack fire, pre-action calibration fire, if you bled on it before one of those, the gun would work well. You wouldn't have any problems. And so because it's such a beast to work on, you know, inevitably somebody started bleeding and they would rub their blood. You gotta be kidding me, the wife's calling right now, hold on. Okay, where were we? Shoot, that was her on the phone, oddly enough. So whenever one of them would get cut or something like that, they would start bleeding, they would smear that blood on the barrel of, or any part of the CWIS mount, and that would be like their superstition, their good luck or whatever. So she's kind of carried that over into civilian life, and because I've been with her for so long now that I've kind of taken up the same superstition. So like, I work for a water company, and let's say I cut myself on something, I do the same thing. I smear blood on, you know, whatever it is and that I'm working on, and that's the superstition, right? So hopefully with my blood now infused into the metal of this bad boy, it'll have fewer malfunctions later on. But anyways, I shot, like I said, 350 rounds. That's about 40 mags, if I remember right, something like that. Again, I don't know if it was just getting hot and that's what was causing it. I don't know if it didn't like the Monarch better. I don't know if it was a magazine issue. I'm going to keep playing with it in the future and just see if I can narrow down what the cause is. Maybe it's just a break-in period. I don't know how those are with 1911. Anyways, I've been gabbing for far too long, and you guys probably just want to see me shoot a gun. So without further ado, here you go.
My head too, then. And whatever you said. Okay. I'll try to bring the lady out and touch more to see different doctors.
You want to feed that last round. Mag 10 round. Chip McCormick 10 round. Chip McCormick 10 round. Remington 7 round. Remington 7 round. Mag 10 round. Chick McCormick 10 rounder. Chip McCormick 10 rounder. Remington 7. Remington 7 rounder.
You want 5 rounds.
Mag 10 rounder.
And I want to either confirm.
Mag 10 rounder. Chip McCormick 10. Remington 7. Earlier on the 7 rounder. Remington 7 rounder. Mag 10 round. Chip McCormick 10. Another failure out of the Chip McCormick 10. Remington 10. Remington 7. Didn't even want that first round. Promag 10. Chip McCormick 10. Chip McCormick 10. Seventh rounder Remington. Remington 7 rounder. Promag 10, only 8 rounds. Chip McCormick 10.
Yeah. I'm doing that. No, it's
Chip McCormick 10. Remington 7. Remington 7.